Today I'm breaking down this Naruto sketch and explaining, the process behind creating a more inspirational and emotional anime pose. I use a reference to do this. It's more of a normal standing pose as opposed to a mobile or action or dynamic pose. If I was to, I guess, give it two different genres. Um, for this drawing, I didn't want Naruto to feel overly aggressive or action focused. Instead, I wanted the pose to feel calm, reflective, and motivational. Having him look upwards while standing with his hands in his pockets creates a much different atmosphere compared to any type of battle pose. And obviously, I use a reference. Um, but when it comes to trying to portray those details so that it follows that vibe more, I guess there's specifics that can come with that. Um, shouldn't say guess. There is. At the start of the sketch, I focus mostly on the gesture and silhouette, even though the pose is simple, it still needs strong balance and flow to keep the drawing visually interesting. Simpler poses can actually be harder sometimes because there's less action to distract from the mistakes in anatomy or structure, or even the little things bringing across that vibe. So you have less to work with if you're trying to convey something with that image. Once I had the rough framework in place, I started refining the proportions and cleaning up the body structure. I played I paid close attention to the shoulders, torso, and head angle because those areas control a lot of the emotion in the pose. The upward head tilt was especially important in this drawing because it helps create that inspirational feeling. Small adjustments to the eyes and face direction can completely change how viewers emotionally interpret the character. Very true. As I move further into the sketch, I focus on cleaner line work and stronger shapes around the hair, face, and clothing folds. Naruto's design is recognizable even in simple sketches. So I wanted to keep the important features sharp without over complicating the drawing. Another important part of the sketch was keeping the posture relaxed. The hands in the pockets help make Naruto feel calmer and more natural, almost like he's thinking about his future or reflecting on his journey. That subtle storytelling element can make artwork feel much more impactful. One thing I always recommend to artists is practicing emotional poses in addition to poses. A lot of manga art focuses on battle and movement, but quieter scenes are great for practicing learning expression, posture, and storytelling through body language. I heard I think everybody is pretty much aware of this if they've ever watched anything for entertainment and just try to pay attention to even the littler things in the show, outside of the things that maybe people are obviously trying to draw attention to. Like, movies have action scenes. There's movies or shows that have action and romance scenes, or there's debates or like things that are more engaging, but there's things that are less engaging that hold their own weight. Um, I remember hearing a phrase and I didn't just hear this spoken about in regards to anime, but I see people doing breakdowns and talking about how some of these animes would do an amazing job showing scenery, showing characters, and having very little to almost probably no dialogue. There might be some back and forth, but it has nothing to do with what's being portrayed. It could just be two random people having a conversation, and there's no narration, and that could be like the opening scenes of an anime, but just from the way they're portraying all the characters and the scenery, it's already starting to tell a story, or it's already starting to tell the idea of the setting or the vibe, or it is doing storytelling before you're even given certain information. regarding somebody making a statement about what's going on, or a narrator coming and saying anything. The art itself is starting to draw it's a picture, but it's drawing the picture, or it's explaining things before you even get there. Whether it's explaining what's going to happen or not is, but they're doing a good job of doing that on purpose with their art. And that's one thing that being better or practicing to improve at a pose that's less dynamic, so it has to rely more on emotion and the vibe, and things that are more subtle, like, develop figuring out what can impact those pictures can help you convey those ideas better with just art alone, without having to say anything, um, which is basically what I just said, but more drawn out. Throughout the drawing, I kept refining smaller details and adjusting the line weight to help certain areas stand out more. Thicker lines around the focal points can guide the viewer's eyes and add more depth to the overall sketch. Overall, this piece was a great practice. This piece was great practice for creating mood and emotion using simple composition and pose choices. Excuse me. That's something I want to continue improving in the future. Sketches and tutorials here on, I'm not going to say the name of the channel, but I did include that in the thing I am reading from, while also giving my extra commentary. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more anime, drawing tutorials, Naruto sketches, manga art studies, and daily improvement. I might not have Naruto lined up to do in the near future. So if you want me to do more like Naruto sketches or characters from the Naruto, please tell me. I think I'm gonna do Kakashi soon, so I'm kind of talking about something I might do soon. I build out lists of things I'm gonna do before I do them, whether I stick to that or not for whatever reasons. But you can tell me, you can throw some things in there if you like. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next